I know them both. I know Walt better. Um, if they had sought my advice about the book, I would have said to them, you should write a book that says U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East is too far tilted toward Israel, and we want to make a case that it should be tilted away, and why that would be in America's interests. That's the stronger part of their book. When you then take the step of calling the book the Israel Lobby and sort of saying that the reason that is so is there's one group that has a sort of nefarious, somewhat mysterious, extra large force in American politics, it starts making me uncomfortable. It also starts getting very hard to prove. Um, the idea, it's a pretty flat statement they make. No Israel lobby, no war in Iraq. I don't think that's true. If you ask me a straight up yes, no, but it's very hard to prove. You know, the war in Iraq in that setup is what social scientists would call a dependent variable. And the Israel lobby is one of a number of possible independent variables. And when you're studying a question in social science, you're taught there's never one independent variable that is 100% responsible for the dependent variable. That causation almost never works that way, and there's always sort of a multitude of causes, if anything. Um, so I think even Walt and Mearsheimer don't really, it's not really fair to them to say, they don't really say in the book, AIPAC specifically caused the war in Iraq. They do say if there had been no Israel lobby, this is sort of what a counterfactual, which is they define more broadly, there would have been no war in Iraq. And I tend not to agree with that. I would say that's not true. Most of the people they are calling the Israel lobby were for the war in Iraq, but there's a whole bunch of questions such as if even those people weren't for war in Iraq before 9/11. They had a sort of slightly different program in mind. And why at this moment did that group's views become dispositive when they hadn't been before or since is another question that needs to be answered. Yes, absolutely, yeah. And of course they have spoken at Columbia. Um, uh, but yeah, I would. I'm on the side. We had at this event at YIVO, we had an interesting sort of debate about that question, and all the other panelists said I would never debate them. I would never invite them anywhere, and I don't agree with that because I believe in the marketplace of ideas. And one of the panelists at this thing at YIVO was Danny Goldhagen. And I mean, he has a legitimate position. He says, look, I'm a historian of Nazi Germany. I just don't believe in the marketplace of ideas. Sorry. There are cases where I just think that really dangerous and pernicious ideas, if they're given open expression and put out for debate, are going to win. And I tend not to believe that. And I also think it's, they're not anywhere near the category of Nazis. So I believe that it's good to debate these things. And also it makes you sound like they're really right, and we don't really have a position or an argument to make against them. It's just that's why we won't debate them.